Good morning, everybody. Just a quick welcome. This is our first podcast episode for Bully Assure YouTube channel. And with us today, we've got Jenny. She's the president of Bully Assure. And we have Stephen and Renelle Rogers. And just a very brief background who they are. They are the actual founders of the American Bully breed in South Africa. So it's only fitting that for our first episode that we have the founders, where it all started. So today we're going to talk about some of the things that led you to bring in the American Bully and the journey and a lot of insight. So we're really looking forward to it. To start off with you guys then, what was the inspiration? Where did it start? What triggered you to bring in the American Bully breed?
Well, we were breeding pit bulls, American pit bulls, for a very long time in South Africa, in a town called Sandra. And we were trying to take off the spotlight of the American pit bull because of the stigma around it. And so I was searching for different types of breeds, and I came along the specific breed called American Bully, which looks like a pit bull, but it's got much more muscular body, less temperament, much easier to work with, and it could work as a nice show dog.
Right. All right. I think that was a good intro, good answer to the first question. Talk about the very first American Bullies you guys brought in. Just give us a bit of a snapshot, how you did it, and your first experience, those first number of months with the American Bullies.
So I found a breeder in the United States, in Texas. I was going through a lot of breeders on Facebook and looking at specific different dogs and pricing, obviously, which could be affordable for me. And I found a breeder by the name of Bob Nombrano in Texas.
Time to shine.
The kennel's name that time was called Time to Shine. And the Pacific breed was Razor's Edge on the dogs. And it was quite a story to import the dogs because first time ever importing animals to South Africa, didn't know what to do. Started making some phone calls, got all our local vet. He explained to us we need to get an import permit. And it was pretty difficult for the guy in the United States because the first time he was exporting to South Africa. So he didn't know what to do. But long story short, and we eventually got the dogs to South Africa. Very happy with them. First dog's names was Low and Brano. Both Razor's Edge, Pacific breed, on American Bullies. Yeah, and that was basically the story of bringing the first set of dogs in.
And when you brought them in, when you first saw them face to face, what was the experience? Were you excited? Were you surprised?
Extremely excited and surprised on the build of the Pacific breed because it was completely different build to the American Pit Bull.
And love at first sight.
Really, very placid and lovable, huh?
For sure. Definitely a companion for a human being.
Right.
Love children, love humans, easy go dogs.
Nice.
How did you introduce? Sorry. How did you introduce them to South Africa? What was the people's first reaction when you introduced them to this unfamiliar breed?
Wow. So social media and dog shows. We went to the very first dog show with the two dogs, and we had a lot of interest in the breed. So the first show we went to was the Pitbull Federation show of South Africa. So we went through to the Pitbull, Jeanette Erasmus, and we had Lil and Brano there. And let me tell you, the people were interested. They were about 6 months old when we went to the first American Bully show, to the first show with them. And it was overwhelming. The people loved the dog, the temperament, the easy go, the beautiful look, style, body, head, muscular. They absolutely loved it. And obviously we loved it too, because wow, our very first American Bullies we brought into South Africa, and it's not just us that loves them, everybody loves them.
Absolutely.
True.
Over the years that you've bred with American Bullies, and you've been involved with the American Bully community in South Africa, do you still believe and do you still maintain, even till today, that ultimately the American Bullies, they are really just companions for humans?
Yes, they are, and some of the breeds have changed, but so original when we started the American Bully, looking at them, you got three different breeds: was the XLs, pockets, and standards. And over time, they started breeding the exotic bullies, micro exotics, and a little bit different breed, much shorter, more bulkier. Yeah, it's a very good, for me, it's a very good companion dog. And we have unfortunately moved to Canada, which we enjoy the country. There are some nice American Bullies also in this country. But we're just too busy to carry on with the breed. We have our American Bullies, which we brought with us to Canada. But yeah, we still love the breed. We'd like to get ourselves a little pocket American Bully again as we settle into Canada nicely. But others, beautiful breed. And the people in South Africa that have them and the registries that are registering them absolutely love the dogs and have massive good shows in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this one, Ronel, for you, what led to starting the first registry in South Africa? What was leading up to it? What was sort of the thought process?
So when Lil Mbrana came in, Bob Nombrano from Time to Shine sent us the ABKC litter registration cards were. So that was the beginning, that was the seed that was planted. And we decided to start up a registry in South Africa for South Africans. It was only the beginning of the American Bullies, but we decided to start with the SABKC, which is the South African American Bully Kennel Club. So, yeah, Bob Nombrano was my inspiration with Lil Mbrano's pedigree papers. That time we didn't know much, but I've learned from the American Pit Bull Terriers as well, because they were also registered dogs. So my very first introduction to a registry was Rose from ADBA, SADBA actually. So she was the lady that helped me set up. She was the person that put me into touch with a guy called Clinton to do a program for me for the pedigrees. And that's how it started. And I will not regret that for 1 second. It was the beginning of something beautiful.
Absolutely. And an interesting thing is that if you think about the thousands and thousands of American bullies that are now in South Africa, and a lot of them are registered. Bully Assure has over 5,000, and I think some of the other registries also have maybe 1,000 or two that's not on our database. But have you ever thought that when you originally did this and when you started the registry, have you ever thought that it will actually grow to to where it is now? It's so big.
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't. I just thought that it's going to be it's just a small group of people that can afford American Bullies. So I really didn't think it's going to be so huge, big, and it's growing day by day.
Oh, absolutely. So if you think back to where it all started, right? So let's say from 2011, 2012 up to now, and you look at how it's evolved in South Africa, do you think the South African market is on the right track? What's sort of your snapshot view about what's happening in South Africa with the American bullies?
Well, I would say the breeders and stuff should support the registries and the organizations that are setting up the shows a little bit more to get the focus out there to show the public that the breed is a very good, stable breed, very friendly, and the main thing is supporting each other with shows and other registries which should maybe look at getting together and show that the breed itself is a stable breed. Because in some countries, some bigger registries like the FCI doesn't recognize the breed because they say it's not an established breed. But it's an established breed. It's been around since the 1990s. In my opinion, it's an established breed, and it should be recognized by some of the other bigger registries.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's quite an interesting point because that's the challenge. It's like from where you guys started it to where it's now, it's grown so much. But we also see and we believe, I think what you're touching on is that there needs to be sort of the next step in the evolution of the American Bully breed, and that requires something to be a little bit more regulated, a little bit more structured for the breed, so that the breed can ultimately be seen as a proper breed and not something that's still evolving. Because I think that's something that we've picked up in the local market as well.
Yeah, if you take this registry in the United States called the ABKC, Dave Wilson is the chairman of the registry, and they must have hundreds of thousands of American bullies registered by them.
Yeah.
So to have that Pacific breed established, well, it is an established breed, but to maybe put it onto the breed standards where you find all the breeds on, to have it put on there would be a plus for everybody,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also, I think, probably part of that picture is to grow the market. You need to reach out into the larger community, and for that you need to educate them about the American bullies, and even more so, it's so important that the American bullies are really proper American bullies, and not bred with questionable breed practices. Because the moment you want to grow this and really get it out to the extent where it's still larger and it touches more lives, I think it's one of the challenges is, of course, to make sure that breeders really know, or follow the breed standard properly, and the registries really work together to implement it or enforce it.
Yeah, like the biggest problem is you get a lot of backyard breeders, and you don't know if they're breeding the dogs correctly.
Yeah.
So I would say if they had like a point system, maybe a DNA point system, where you could do DNA testing on the father and the mother, just to make sure that it is the parents of those specific puppies.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to something that's, I think, touching the heartstrings a bit. If you were to bring, or if you were to highlight one specific moment that stands out for you from when you started this journey with the American bullies, if there's one specific experience that you can share with us.
I would say when we started doing our bigger shows through the ABFSA and seeing the volume of people coming with their breeds, coming with their dogs to the shows, the excitement of showing their dogs and showing the public and being proud when they walk their dogs through the rings. And us as judges and registries at time, watching the proudness of these people walking with their dogs and the kids and the families.
Yeah.
That is very
touching. Yeah.
touching us.
It was something
Excellent point.
something good.
So if we can just quickly go back to the beginning where the registry started, the SABKC, and now you're mentioning ABFSA. Can you just explain a little bit where ABFSA is coming into the picture if ABKC was already a registry in South Africa?
Okay, so SABKC, we started with friends of ours, and after about a year or so, we had some
We pulled out.
internal issues, so we pulled out and we started the ABFSA on ourselves, because we found that we wanted to go on a different path to show and, how can I say, we had our own ideas, and sometimes in life you can't always have partners pulling one way and you want to go another way. So
Yeah.
this is why we split, and we decided to start our own registry by ourselves with no partners, and it really took off from there.
It really did. If there's one sort of the last question here, but we can expand on it a bit. But if you were to give advice to upcoming breeders, new breeders in South Africa, what would that be?
I would say choose your dogs carefully, the ones that you want to breed. Make sure that you have no defaults. So when you have puppies, that you have no defaults in the puppies. And I don't know what else. What would you say now?
I would say breed compatible, breed wisely.
Oh.
You as a breeder should at all times be able to take your offsprings back no matter what, no questions asked. If your buyers can no longer look after the dogs or do not want the offsprings, you as a breeder must be able to take your dogs back. And then one thing that would stand out for me is work together. Don't work against each other. Love the breed. Be one big happy bully family.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, good advice.
So talking about puppies, if we can take another step back to Lil and Branu's first litter. Tell us about that. What was the excitement? How did you get the buyers? What did the people say when they saw the puppies? Who were the first buyers?
Okay, so the first buyers from Lil and Branu's pups, they were born 2012. The 13th of February. So we had 7 pups out of that litter. So the very first 2 pups, we kept them back into the kennel. It was Undertaker and Lilo.
Yeah.
So, and then the buyers, they
followed us on Facebook.
Yeah, they picked it up on Facebook. And that's how we got our first litter out in South Africa, is via Facebook and people that we knew personally. So yeah, that's how it started off.
Well, Carol bought from us.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lilo looked a lot like Branu. She was a crazy little girl. I absolutely loved that dog. Undertaker, my goodness, he was the biggest pup. And he liked to sit on top of all the other puppies. So that's why I called him Undertaker. So he was, and he was a beautiful blue and white dog. So yeah, and then the rest were all beautiful puppies. So Blue went to Dean and Tiffany. Lily Girl went to Stefan.
Stefan Liebenberg.
Yeah, Stefan Liebenberg. And
Undertaker went to college.
No, later stage. Then sure, all the other puppies, they actually had beautiful homes. They lived their life to the fullest.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's very good. It's a good start, for
Yeah.
sure. Good stuff. I think we are at the end. I think it's we've asked what we wanted to ask. If there's any closing message that you want to give us from your side, all the way from Canada.
I would say for the registries, keep up the good work, keep up the good shows. We do follow you from the side, and I see the shows are growing. Expectations is growing, and for the breeders that are showing the dogs, I would say keep up the good work.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.